Greetings and welcome to a tutorial on how to import player notes from Pocket Pennant Run into Digital Diamonds. They display on screen in the manner you've seen here. So what you see here is the Pocket Pennant Run ratings for defense for all the players in the field and the pitcher relevant ratings for the pitcher, and they read from left to right. It's fatigue, pitcher rating, control rating, and defense. And then for batters, you have all the relevant information to a person that's going to be at bat, which is going to be it's going to be your batter rating, power, and then speed or run rating. And just for the sake of showing off, we're going to walk the first guy, Austin, and you'll see that his run rating now is the only thing that's going to be listed when he's on base, because that's all that's going to be relevant as far as to play this game. So there's that. So that's just kind of orient ourselves to what the end goal is going to be here. And now I will show you how I got to this point. So let's pull up Pocket Pennant Run. It's not cooperating here. Where are you? Oh, well, that's the reason why. Let's close that. Let's go back to this screen. So here we are with Pocket Pennant Run. And what I did was, first thing I did was I imported or exported the player ratings. So, and how you do that is, and how you would export player cards or team cards for that matter in Pocket Pennant Run is using the Pocket Pennant Run Manager software. You simply just click on Print Selected Team, or I'm sorry, not Selected Team. That's my mistake. It's actually Season. And you would choose the season. This one that we're doing is 1912, so that's going to be part of the historical MLB 1871 to 1919 category. So you would select that, and then you would type in your year and hit Create Season Excel Workbook. Or for that matter, if you wanted to print the season player cards or the season team cards, these will print as PDFs. I'm not going to do this because I've already done it, so I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. But what then happens is you then would go into your Pocket Pennant Run folder. Let me do that. I'll show you here. Here it is. So you open this, go to Game Sheets, and it'll be listed right here. And I've already got it open. So what I'll do is I'll pull it up and you can see, actually disregard this because this is going to be something that I did. I more or less manipulated that data so I could start to do the import. But this is what you're going to see, is this information. So you got all your different teams and players, right? In this case, this is the New York Highlanders that we're looking at. So here's your players, including your pitchers. So all the positional players from pitcher to right field are going to be listed here. And here's your starting pitchers, or I'm sorry, here's all your pitchers and their ratings as well too, for pitcher ratings. Okay, so that is what the raw data will look like. As you see, it's the same thing here with the Detroit Tigers, Chicago White Sox, but back to the Highlanders. So what we're trying to do is get that data to look like this data. And so this is what's going to be imported into Digital Diamond. And it has to be formatted in this manner. So you have to have your players' names, the team abbreviation as it appears in Digital Diamond, And you also have to have your notes according to the position the player plays. So this column is infielder notes. So this is what's going to display on the infield players as I showed you here. So like for shortstop here, he's an A. Lord, third baseman's a D. Rath, second baseman's a B. Collins is an A. So that's the data that appears here. And then the same thing for outfield. Go across from left to right. You got Bodie, Callahan, and Maddock with B, C, and A ratings respectively. You have then catcher ratings, and pull up the catcher. You'll see that Block has a rating of an A. And then last and finally, you have your pitcher ratings, which are listed here. Okay, but maybe we shouldn't be looking at the finished data. We're looking at this information here. So here's your defense, here's your speed, here's your power, here's your batting. But we were just looking at defense, so that would be this column here. Now, in Pocket Pennant Run, it's good to note that that is you'll see first baseman, second baseman. He's only has one rating. It's a B. Second base, Simmons here, Hack Simmons. Second base, first base, and shortstop are the positions that he played. But he's rated as a B. So you only have single ratings for individuals that played, two or more positions. Um, so what I did in that case, and what I've done in that case to format this accordingly, is I have put like Dots Miller here. He's I'm not even sure what position he plays, but that's not important. But you'll see that across the board for his defensive ratings, be it an infielder, outfielder, or catcher, are all A. So it doesn't matter because it only matters what's going to display is whatever he's playing in the field at that time. So in this case, if we were to use Hal Chase, if he was playing first base, what would be displayed next to his name is going to be a B. Second base, same thing, a B. So that was the reason why and also, well, more importantly, take a look at this Del Paddock, for example. He plays infield and outfield, and he's a D-rated player. So what I've done just to save, really time is to just take the rating across the board as you see here. So that is that. So so this could be pretty daunting task to just be copying and pasting all these individual numbers into this particular spreadsheet. So what I did instead of that, and let me unhide this area that I had hit, or had hidden before. So what I did was I just did a little bit of a shortcut. What I did was I just pulled data for defense. So basically what I've done is I'm just pulling and saying that all of these fields here are equal to G5 or whatever fills in on G5. And then I went ahead and copied that all the way down so that it just pulls all the data, defensive information, into those categories. And then what I did was I did what's called a concatenate, right? Formula, which then takes the batter information. So this is now going to be the notes for the batter. So if we take a look at a batter, we see that we have it listed as CBC for Wallace. If we jump back to the spreadsheet, I combine the data for those fields that relate to batter, power, and speed, and they now appear here using that formula. So that information now is populated here. And then your speed notes or your speed rating is what your runner will display when he's on base, as we saw with Mr. Austin here. He's an A. So that is in relation to that. And then the last bit of information is going to be the pitchers. So I did the same thing, just did a same concatenate formula here, and then copied and pasted the information here, but always make sure you paste it as a value, not as a formula, or else the data will not be correct. Let's just say that. So that's what I did here. So I basically took this data, and what I do is I then copy the names of all the players in that team, drop it in line here, copy the data from this area, plug it in, paste it in here, and this is what you end up with. I know that you know I know enough about Excel to be dangerous, and I know others out there are pretty skilled at it. Some or others that aren't. Um, but this was just I wanted to show like how I actually did this import to that stage. So or into Digital Diamond. So so once I had the data formatted properly, and once again I'll mention that it's the critical thing is that you have to have your players' names, the team they play for, that abbreviation that corresponds to the abbreviation in the game of Digital Diamond, and then your notes according to your specific, whether it's infield, outfield, or catcher. Whereas in this game, it's across the board, so that's why I explained that earlier. Your batter information, uh, run run information, and then pitcher information. So once that was set up, as you can see, I'll scroll through and you'll see each team: Cleveland, St. Louis Browns, Washington Senators, or was it the Nationals? I think it's the Nationals at that time. Philadelphia, this would be the Phillies, Brooklyn, Cincinnati, the New York Giants, et cetera, et cetera. Um, has to be saved as a CSV file and formatted as such. So once that was completed, the next step then was to go to Digital Diamond, and you want to go into the player editor, and you want to then go into import export, select that, and you'll see notes. Import player notes is what we want. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And you click on import player notes, and it's now going to show you the field where you select the file you're going to import. Gives you some good information here. The format for the notes file is, and it shows you how it needs to be formatted. So once what you then do is you want to go in and you want to select the file. In this case, it's 1912 PPR, Pocket Pennant Run Notes, version 1 CSV. You click import, and it imports the information. Now you don't see it here, right? I don't see it anywhere. What you then do is you want to click on player notes, and now that information shows up. And you can see that your infield notes, outfield, catcher, all A's, your batter notes CBD, your run notes a D, and your pitching notes is 6BBA. And that's the information, or those are the notes that are imported from the file that I created for Pocket Pennant Run. And go ahead and exit. And that is pretty much it. So I thought I would just share that. I thought it's a cool feature to add. I don't have to then either be referring to player cards. I can simply just look at the players on the field or as they appear on Digital Diamond. Has all the ratings I need. I then just can roll the dice, or in my case, I use a Excel dice roller. Roll the dice in Excel and refer to the chart or cards to determine the outcome of the play. So that is that. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was informative. And yeah, please do. If you have any questions about what I did or how I did it, feel free to ask or leave a comment. Don't forget to hit or click like and subscribe. And I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you. Have a good day.